pleased when they're all out here waiting on me. I've seen everybody this morning. Stripe was up a little early. I'm not sure if I indicated, but him and Marty been in the house every night, and Stripe usually wakes up at the 6:30, 7 o'clock time range, and I let him out and then I sleep for a bit more. And this morning he wanted out a little early. Hi, Morris. And then he was asleep in the garage where it was warm and dry, silly boy. Hi. Hello. Hi, Morris. Good boy. Where are you, Marty? You just waiting right here? Hi. I'm sure Stripe is around. I see somebody had fun with my bricks again last night. He was quiet this morning and he snuck up on me. Okay, I brought out your food. But you know, yesterday you didn't bring all your friends with you. Oh, there's one of your friends. And it was like, well, you know, now this would be day 2. I think I haven't seen the black guy. He made it through the cold. Come on. I don't know. I do know I like the pretty sunshine out here in the morning. It's going to be 60 today, just 60. I'm liking that. Sounds of that. I didn't dress quite as warm today. I only got 1 layer long sleeve instead of 2. Still haven't quite seen Stripe yet. He's probably on his front yard patrol this morning. It's a little bit easier for me. Oh, there he is, actually. It's a little bit easier for me if I walk out from up there over here. I've got a break in the rocks there, and of course down on the end. Over here, I'm thinking about removing a brick to make it a little safer, since I'm having to go through there all the time, which was never the plan. Hi, Stripe. Yeah, this rock right here. Somehow I could make it so it's not so, I don't know. It's more coming down than going up. We'll see. Let's go in the garage for just a second. I'll show you some of the stuff I've been printing. And by the way, the Helleborus 100% stood back up after the cold. The flowers are getting a little old now on top, but the ones on the bottom are opening up new flowers. This one's new. How pretty. Very pretty. And I was looking over here at the violas, and you know, it's nice to have these little glimpses of flowers even in the wintertime. I will come out with the scissors. I don't want to damage it, and snap off the ones that are spent. You should deadhead pansies and violas if you want them to come back nice. And I will do that. Don't want them to waste energy making seeds. It's a plate of more hearts. I've been meaning to keep that a little more closed. You can see Don left the other AMS unit ready to go. These are the other 2 sides we printed. And he'll probably do it today. The thing of it is there's got to be enough, see down here where there's enough room to lift the lid open to put stuff in and out. Well, that's the same thing over here. And here's my hearts that printed last night. And Don has, this was actually a separate piece, but Don has installed them for me, the little circles. I'm printing red conversation hearts now with different various sayings. I don't know if I exactly love the saying she had. And it was designed so that I couldn't change them, but I just too had time for that this week, I guess. And here's all the parts of the wreath. This is an octagon instead of a hexagon, so 8 sides instead of 6. And I am worried it's going to be a little too big. I'm just moving these out of the way so that when Dawn is working over here today, my stuff is not really in the way. That's all I'm doing. Anyway, I'll have red ones when I come home, and then there's an arrow. There's also an arrow that you can put onto the wreath. Yeah, these were separate, the circles on these, so you could print them flat, but apparently they're holding into place without glue. So as long as that stays the case, that'll be great. But yeah, later in the week, as I'm switching over to Valentine's Day decorations, I look forward to putting this together, putting it on the door. And my helper's in here now. My garage cat, aren't you? Oh, he's back over by the door to go out now, but Stripe is in here with me. He always follows me in pretty much every time. Ruby is charged up to 90% and ready to go. I have not missed not one time since I got my car stopping at the gas station. But I was never one to go into like Sheetz and get my coffee there or anything, so that probably helps with the not missing it. But not having to stop when it's cold or raining or I'm running late or whatever, not spilling gas on my hands on my way somewhere important, all of those things, I've not missed it, not even one time. Yeah, consider me dreaming of pretty spring mornings today. Birds singing, trees budding out. Hi, good morning. Hi, here you go. Hi. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Hi. Say, I'm hungry this morning, Mama. But I do love seeing you. We're out here. This is our second pogo lap. That's about all we have time for this morning. The Tuesday, Thursday, 30 minutes in. It's breezy. It might be on its way to being 60 today, but right now it's breezier than we would prefer.
But the sun's in full bore.
Yeah, and the sun's nice. It's cheery out here today in comparison to yesterday, which it was just, God, it was dreary. It was dreary with a D instead of cheery with a C. Dawn had Ruby pulled out for me and climb it on. I've got a 10-minute cushion today. That's Morris. I don't mind that he's over here playing. Just, you know, stay out of the way of the big trucks. It's sunny over here. All of them are out right now, so I'm just looking for Marty or Stripe to come popping out of somewhere too, potentially. Amazon driver came the other day, and I don't remember this kid, but he said he's been to our house several times and that he had put instructions to be careful for the cats at our house and another nearby house that has kitties. And you know, I appreciate that if he has a way to do that. If you come down the driveway at the suggested 5, maybe even 10 mile an hour and not fly down the driveway, then you'd have time to see them and they'd have time to see you. They don't like those big trucks, so they tend to want to get as far away from them as possible. When they pull up in the driving pad, they run away from the house up into the woods a lot of the time. So anyway, I am in autopilot here, and I was looking to see Ruby is still on 12.5.4.2, and so she's still waiting for the upgrade. Don't go, Ruby. Don't go, Ruby. Don't go. You can take the turn signal off now that you're following. Okay, you did. That's good. I can't complain about how she handled that, other than, you know, of course, I was a little nervous that she was going to go out around when she shouldn't. But she did not. So that's good. But yeah, it would be nice if we could get Ruby up to the level that Jules is on again, since they're both hardware 3 cars. If I were going to sit down with the Tesla AI team, I think the question I want to understand is, when we bring a new car online, the truck went from going slow to turning. It was a little hard for my eyes to get that, but anyway, obviously Ruby thought he was going and then he slowed and she slowed. But what I was going to say is, what I really want to know is, or understand is, when we bring a new car online, let's say Cybertruck versus the existing Model Y. We won't even talk, we'll leave Juniper out of the equation for now. We bring the Cybertruck online. What is the exercise that the Tesla AI team has to go through? Obviously testing, but what exercise do they have to go through to allow FSD to work on the new vehicle, in this case the Cybertruck? I mean, obviously, I would think, my opinion is, we would have to figure out the stopping distances. You know, the Cybertruck's got steer-by-wire, so the turning radius is different. You know, the weights of the vehicle is different, which again, it impacts the stopping distance. These types of things to let FSD know, I guess, what the rules of engagement are with the car. So I figured out that the car in front of me, you know, the manipulation of understanding the images of how fast the car in front of me is traveling, or how fast they're slow, you know, it's easy for me to say, right? How fast they're braking, how fast they're accelerating away from me, how to keep my stopping distance, or the distance between the cars at the level that's been deemed. I wouldn't think those things would change too much. But how long it's going to take to stop the car, how it's going to turn so that it stays within its lane, making a right or a left turn. I would think that these are mathematical and then computational directives that need to be applied for each individual vehicle, which brings to my mind the case of how portable is it really to other manufacturers and other vehicles. How, after going through this exercise with the Cybertruck, and I'm sure there's a little bit of differences for the Model Y Juniper, although I would expect it to be not significant. This is a stoplight, Ruby. It's a red light. Thank you. But, you know, next time you could stop a little sooner. That was awfully late. It was very, very late. She was late last week, if I remember too. I was ready and there was nobody coming. I was just, in that instance, I felt like I could give her a little more time to decide. There's nobody coming from the right. If I had run the light, I wouldn't have hit anybody, you know, et cetera, et cetera. These are the 10 things or more that my mind was thinking about besides what I was saying. So, anyway, these are just the things I'm pondering today, because, you know, Tesla has potential profit, can make potential money off of other manufacturers deciding to put FSD to, you know, to buy FSD, license, lease, whatever terms we want to call it, on their cars. But what will the exercise be in porting it to those cars, and how will, you know, will we turn it over to them? Will they add a AI person to the Tesla team? How will that go back and forth with tweaking it to make it work on those vehicles in the real world? I mean, it sounds great. Oh, FSD is, you know, near complete and we're going to sell it and we're going to, you know, make money on it. I don't know. I think with other manufacturers, it'd just be a little bit of niggle problem there because of, you know, the differences in cars. So if you want to, let me know what you think in the comments. I was telling Dawn this morning that I'm a little frustrated on X because there's all these people trying to encourage engagements, i.e. make money on X now. So they ask these questions, stupid questions, like in the carnivore community that I'm in. What's your preferred cut of steak? You know, like over and over different accounts. And they'll they'll say it a little, you know, which one of these do you want to eat for dinner today, or something like that. And, you know, sometimes the questions that get asked are academic and are worthwhile discussing, especially if the poster says their opinion and gives some rationale as to why they would like my opinion. You know, like if XAI, I saw a post go around the other day, what enhancements would you like to make to Grok? I thought that could be very helpful if the people at XAI were really going to pay attention to that. I've actually couldn't come up with a whole lot that day, but I've got several now, but I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, you know, I'm really not interested in helping people get rich on X by just engaging with them over silly questions. And oh, by the way, I mean, I don't really care if people know that my favorite go-to steak at Whole Foods is Chuck Eye, unless, of course, they're going to come in and buy them out from under me right before I get there on Tuesday, and then I really care. But, you know, that's not that level of personal information. I don't think it really matters, okay? Whole Foods and Amazon and my credit card company and all these people already know what kind of steak I buy. I really don't care. But some things they ask could potentially be, you know, information that you really, it seems no big deal, but it could be something if you know that data's correlated. So I don't know, be careful about that. If you want me to engage with you on X, have some real content there. Like, I don't know, Homar's catalog, he's got a lot to say. So when he asks a question out there, I really don't mind answering him, Omar. But there are some people out there, it's just like, you know, don't be asking me questions just for the sake of asking me questions and gathering data. I'm sort of not interested in that. It's not even so much a privacy concern. It's just like, how many times do how many people expect me to answer which cut of steak I like? It's just not the level of sophisticated engagement I'm looking for with other people out there. Every week now, Ruby gets in the right-hand lane since this last release. And prior, she used to get in the left-hand lane every time. And a lot of times there's a dump truck here at this light, and I don't want to be behind the dump truck. Today I didn't take it out, but almost every week I have taken Ruby out of FSD at this intersection lately, just because I just don't want to be behind the slow traffic. So the one thing I really want Grok to do different is when I use the copy text feature to share something Grok said with typically Dawn, but maybe some other people. I want Grok to copy not only the text that he gave me, but the text my question, the text I supplied to him, because the answer doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't know what the question was. And I told Grok that I wanted him to do that, and he said, from now on, I will do that. And then a couple minutes later, I tested it, and he still wasn't doing that. So, which makes sense to me, because I think that's a program change. But, you know, I'd be willing to see if that, you know, one-time test is not enough to know. Or maybe it's hit or miss that he does or he doesn't do that. But if I'm going to share information with another person by copying text, I need the question as well as the answer sent to the other, you know, so I can paste it into the window. Because you can laugh at me and Dawn. What's happening is when I'm in there video editing with Gray, I'm sending him text messages out in the other room. Because when I do the video every day, there's usually 2 or 3 things it reminds me I wanted to look up. Something Dawn and I were talking about that we didn't have the full answer for, or I've said something in the video or Dawn has that was a reminder to go look something up, or so I get to that point in listening and I'm like, oh yeah, I needed to go check on that, and I do that, and then sometimes that means tell Dawn, and Dawn's in the other room, so I send him a text message. And then the other thing is, since this AI compute is not free from an energy perspective, a systems perspective, okay, I recognize that. But since it's not free, I really think we should save the queries and index them. If not for the whole community because it's your personal question or whatever, but at least for me, and I know there's a history there. But I would almost like the ability to have partner sharing with Dawn like we do with our Google Photos. I do suppose that there is stuff that I could ask that I wouldn't, particularly want Dawn to go look at. I mean, some, I don't know, girl stuff. I don't know what I would ask. Probably not. But at any point, maybe even on an individual thing, in my history, if I went and said, add this to partner sharing, and just try to train Don to go read the history every once in a while. And same for his stuff. Now, we have partner sharing turned on at our house. I see everything Dawn takes a video or a picture of. Get back over now, Ruby. I'm signaling. She got in the left-hand lane on her own, but I'm sending her back to the right-hand lane because just past this stoplight is where I get on the turnpike, and I don't want to be changing lanes at the last minute. That's not my style. I'm not late today, even though I acted like I was late at that stoplight back there. So, I don't know. I think the concept of partner sharing your AI with a group of people or with other people, that might be kind of neat. So we'll see. I guess another level of grok is fixing to come out, and hopefully it won't be like FSD and autopilot, and it'll just be a step forward and we won't have to take a step back at the same time. I just want to move forward. Anyway, two problems there. One, I got on the interstate behind the slow-moving truck. He didn't do anything wrong, but Ruby tried to pass him on the right instead of moving left and accelerating. So that's not good. She continues to not do a good job of getting on the turnpike there and merging and moving. And then the other thing is I thought I was in the right lane. I had signaled and gotten over on my own after disengaging to not pass the truck on the right. And then when I engaged FSD, she still thinks it's 60 there. And she's thought it's 60 there since they opened up the turnpike past that point in the other direction. It's not been right for the, 2 or 3 months now. So I need to be really careful about it because, people, it's 70 out here and people at a minimum were doing 75. So, you can't be doing 60. That's dangerous. That's why you got to pay attention. Boy, I have a lot to say today. I guess it gets pent up during the week, right? It's hard to talk too much and exercise properly at the track. We did get in 2 pogo loops and 1 track loop this morning. We just didn't quite have time to do a second track loop. I know what I was going to say now. So in looking at, again, I know the continued discussion of whether to get a new X or not, right? I think the things that are missing for me right now are no front camera. I want that camera the Juniper has. I want that camera the Cybertruck has. That's a big deal to me with the cats. It's a big deal to me parking places where I cannot see the hood. I can't see it. And I'm not tall, but I'm not short either. I'm 5'7". I'm an average height. I cannot see my hood. The only red I see is the red you guys see in the video, pretty much. And that the video might even be a little bit more than what I can personally see, where I have the seat comfortable. And number 2 is I like LEDs and I want the ambient lighting. Right? I want the ambient lighting. I don't really want a landscape screen. I don't really want, although Don says he would like it, a modified steering wheel, the yoke. I like my autopilot stock where it is and how that works the way that it works. So, for me, there's compromises. I'm sure I can get used to it. I'm sure I can. I'm sure it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I'm just saying that none of those things to me is a reason to want to trade. It's more of an endurance to get the latest camera suite, the latest software updates, these other things. It would be more of an indoor for me, I think. But I'm still, you know, we ponder it often. But until there's a front camera and ambient lighting in the X, I would just be going. It's just still not, you know, and the thing, they've made all these improvements and a lot of them have nothing to do with what I care about personally. So I don't know. It would be nice maybe to do some of the other light shows, but I would miss the old light show. I don't think you can, maybe somebody has that one on a thumb drive. I don't know. Continue to think about it. I was disappointed the Juniper isn't in that new pretty blue color. I don't remember what the color's called right this second, but I was, and I'm taking over because she just won't do this properly. It's a free moving lane. The person slowed down to let me in, so thank you, and that was easy. When Ruby can get up to the speed that these guys are going in a flash, it's really not too hard to merge in there if the person even lets off just a little bit. But yeah, I can't until she treats the free-flowing lane like a free-flowing, you say that fast 3 times, a free-flowing lane. Until she treats that properly, I just take over back there. It's kind of funny, I had problems saying that. There was something else I was saying yesterday. I actually had speech therapy as a child because they said that I wasn't pronouncing F and TH properly, the F and the th sound correctly. And in elementary school, I had to go to speech therapy. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. And I had to cut out little magazine things and paste them into a book. And I was supposed to practice saying all of those words. And honest, I turned out just fine. And I probably still don't say all of those words just right. At least I guess I've got a level of awareness that I might need to correct my language there a bit. But yes, you can turn on red there. The Y, the S, and the Mach-E are in the same spots today. Somebody just left, or I might would have parked in the EV contingent. The upper parking lot's really busy and I'm just not parking up there. Besides, it's a pretty day and I can use a walk. Little short walk up the hill. No big deal. Yeah, I guess we're all realistically dirty around here right now, all the cars, because we had the snow and the crap on the roads, and because it's wintertime and it's hard to wash. And Don's waiting to put on the mud flaps for Jules until he can wash the car, and that's going to take a pretty day. Which, you know, maybe in the next week that works out and maybe it doesn't. All done with my PEMF session. I ended up taking 2 Excedrin in there, and Janice ended up doing something a little special to try to help because of a pretty bad headache. I woke up with it, and then it got better while we walked, and I drank fluids and stuff and had caffeine, and then it came back. Yeah, when I let Stripe out at around 6 a.m. and I got back in bed, my neck popped. I felt it pop. My neck, that's not normal. And the headache seemed to start after that, and I don't know what I did to cause the popping. And I made an appointment next week to see the chiropractor after my PEMF session. I've got a couple questions I want to talk to her about, mostly. And I'll let her work on my upper back a little bit, but not my neck so much and not my lower back, because I just can't handle that. But anyway, it's 55 out here and I have ditched my jacket. It's nice. I'm thankful to have a pretty weather day for shopping today. I prefer to walk from that far away spot when it's free. I'm glad the construction's gone down there. The area is cleaned up enough. guess I admit I miss seeing all the pretty Teslas out there. There's a Bolt. Such a nicely put together table setting. R2D2 is only $1, so I picked him up for May the 4th be with you. I got this B box with a magnet enclosure. That was $3. And there are 3 hand towels, beach shoes, 2 4th of July colors, and a handkerchief for Dawn. And then they had this really nice pair of CZ earrings on a 14 karat post. So I grabbed those. Michelle said, grab them, grab them. I don't know if the new Prius looks like the Model Y Juniper, or if the Model Y Juniper looks like the new Prius, but notice how the license plate here is all the way down at the bottom. And I know we've got the really cool reflective lighting on the back of the Juniper, but in the front, the lighting looks pretty similar. The really slitty headlights on the Prius. I've been pondering that I think that there's going to be a big market for artwork on that really nice, super flat panel of the new Model Y now. I'm thinking Tesla Brothers and a bunch of others are going to make vinyl wrap stick-on thingies there. I mean, it's just like a slate ready for some stuff, some artwork there. So I am personally waiting to see what they come up with. I got my favorite spot today. How did that happen? It's been a while. It's been quite a while, actually. See, it's so easy to back in. I can even do it and film and talk all at the same time. Well, I'm used to this spot. Parked here over 100 times, I'm sure. So, and Michelle is at the Lego store, and I had ordered a box of the 6 minifigures from series, I think it's 27, and there's 12 total. And sometimes if you order 2 boxes, you get 2 complete duplicates. Every once in a while, you get a mix. Sometimes you get lucky and you get one of each. I ordered from Lego for points with another order. Anyway, she's up there, and they have a ton of Series 27 at Crabtree, and they encourage app scanning. They don't care, like Barnes & Nobles is now officially preventing people from scanning by covering it up with stickers. Just don't buy from Barnes & Nobles. Anyway, she found me the 6 I didn't have, including the cat lady, the telescope space kid, and the cute monster guy. Anyway, she's got me covered. That was very nice from her. She's been in the Lego store for over 30 minutes for me. That was very sweet. So who watched the series part 1 finale for 911 Lone Star? There was a argument over a money tree. Those are pretty nice. I tell you, the mini orchid I bought is still flowering and still looking great. I've been so happy with it. Second Rivian I've seen today. One of them was at the chiropractor when I came out. I think there's a Nissan Ariya area down near the front door, but I couldn't see the back of it. Pushing the cart up the hill. I just took the cart back. And several Ys, and still have not seen a Cybertruck at Whole Foods. Waiting for that. I'm sure as soon as they start delivering Model Y Junipers, we'll see that here. Or in Cary on the road right outside of the shopping center. So I paid $6.49 for a dozen pastured, large, I think organic eggs. The egg area was very thin. It was very thin. There were not a lot of eggs. There were no hard-boiled eggs today, the little 6-packs I buy for my snack. They did have some on the salad bar, but I chose not to get those. I think all they do is open them up and put them on the salad bar, which is probably why they don't have any at the back. I guess everything else in there was about usual. Dr. Barry has me going through the exercise of rereading labels. And, you know, they try really super hard to put stuff you don't want in your food. That's all I got to say. So I've got some chicken breast because the little dinky piece of roast beef they had left to slice at the deli, I didn't want any part of. And I'll eat a little bit of the chicken breast and then head to the house. It's, you know, the loaf, the, what do they call it? The pressed chicken. Kind of juicier than just buying a piece of chicken breast. I parked over here and went into bricks and minifigures and minifigs. It wasn't until I came out that I realized that this is a Lightning. So I bought one cute owl because I put an owl in all my buildings. It was a friend's owl, so it had some extra color. It was kind of neat. I hadn't seen that exact one before. And I bought 2 green half base plates because remember I needed one for the museum, but I didn't have it. Excuse me. So I guess, you know, basically pay shipping online or come here and buy in person is about the same price. But since it's a small business, I definitely wanted to give them a purchase. And there were 2 couples in there. One had a little kid in a stroller. And they had sheets with parts they needed, and they were hunting in the bin for the parts and then checking them off on the sheet for something that they wanted to build. And they were doing it together, so that was kind of nice. And yeah, I mean, I suppose making up a list and then stopping in here on a Tuesday to see what I could find was not the worst idea ever. Slightly shocking what they want to sell stuff for, either used, inventoried, or I don't know that I looked at new stuff, but I looked at some used inventoried and I was like, yeah, but that's because it's kind of like going to a pawn shop. You know, they got to they give you money and then they've got to make their money off of that. So, but he had the diner, one of the older Lego modular buildings, the diner, you know, white and black tile on the lower level, interesting pink tiles to do the word diner, and then turquoise special arched front pieces. But I looked at the set and most of it is not rocket science, not specialty parts, not anything that you would have any problem finding except for the pink and the turquoise. So probably what I should do is create a wish list just with the pink and the turquoise. And as I'm ordering this year, since I eventually want to build the diner, you know, I could start ordering that along with, not go out and order it special, but order it along with my other orders. So eventually someday I'll build the diner, unless of course I find it at Guardian Angel. That would be even better. A guy in the Mercedes over there, he tried to run a stop sign in the parking lot coming out of there, and thank God one of us was paying attention.
So this is the piece she made me. This and this that was I had to make the second set there. I did clear the holes out, but it really wasn't necessary. I joined it to the existing ones that's been here for several months, using tape, Gorilla Tape. That way it won't do it. But if you see here, you'll see how far the cover goes up, and you'll see that right there it's going to clear the bottom of that one on AMS. Now I could put the AMS all the way up here, but trust me, that's already at my eye level right here. This is eye level, so I'd have to stand on my tippy toes to see the AMS up there if I have to work on any of this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to use the lower brackets, and if you notice, this is the lower bracket here, and then this is the mid-level bracket. So I think I've got the spacing it's going to end up being the same. Well, we got a little problem with the AMS. These are the rails that it sits on, but this one has these little round tube-like holes, I guess, so you can screw it down maybe. But there's just a little bit, there's just not quite enough clearance. I couldn't get it to set level on that over there. And so I've took the AMS back down. So I'm going to trim, use my Dremel, and I'm going to notch these. I'm going to notch it right here. Not the AMS, but these brackets that we printed. And I think that'll take care of it. Alrighty, I got it hooked up and loaded. You notice how even it is all the way across there. It's because it's now sitting. It's sitting flush the way it's supposed to. There's the black data cable and then the white PTFE tube that the filament goes through. And there you can see it. And it is eye level. I mean, I can barely see it. I mean, it's plenty high. This is over 6. That's well over 6 feet. That's probably like 6'3" or 6'4" right there. Anyway, there it is. There's all her filament colors. You can see the little dots across the top. Those are all her colors in the 4 AMSs. There's no really easy way to arrange these AMSs. It figures out whatever it is, and that's what it does. I'm going to tell her it's ready to go, and I'm sure she'll put it to good use. I guess now, one thing I do wish I would have done is this holder for the build plates. It'd have been really nice up here. It would have been easy because I have to kind of bend down to look to see if I have it in the slot straight, and this would have been eye level. It would have been easy to see, and I would have had to redo this AMS or take it apart. But if I ever get crazy in here and want to redo everything, that's what I'll do. All right, well, I'm going to call it a day.
Look at that juicy bottom round roast there, baby.